Let's look at how organisms get their nutrients, that is, get their food. We have two large classes of organisms, the Autotrophs and the Heterotrophs. Troph, in each instance, means to feed. Auto means self. Hetero means other. So autotrophs are self-feeders. This means they manufacture their own food. Heterotrophs are dependent on food molecules that have been produced by other organisms. Now, within these two categories, in the autotrophs, we have photosynthetic autotrophs, those that are reliant on small inorganic molecules and sunlight to provide energy in order to manufacture food through the process we call photosynthesis, and chemosynthetic autotrophs that are dependent on heat and chemical energy in order to produce their food. A lot of these organisms that live in these deep sea vents that are very hot produce a lot of sulfur, hydrogen sulfide, and so forth, and they use those chemicals to make their food. Heterotrophs, we have two classes. One's not quite as common as the other. The photoheterotrophs actually need sunlight along with larger organic materials in order to derive their nutrition, where the chemoheterotrophs are totally dependent on feeding on other organisms. This is oftentimes called Heterotrophs Proper. Now, bacteria are found in all of these classes. They have a wide variety of deriving their nutrition, everything from photosynthesis and chemosynthesis to different varieties of heterotrophism. They are dependent, however, on getting relatively small molecules inside themselves to process. They have no way of taking in large chunks of materials and breaking those down. If we look at fungi, they have a very different feeding mechanism. They actually will secrete enzymes to the exterior to dissolve materials around them into small molecules and then absorb those small molecules. This leads to a relatively interesting process in decomposition relating fungi and bacteria. Oftentimes the fungi will come in and start the breakdown process, in effect literally turning the material to be digested or decomposed into sort of a soupy material that the bacteria can then invade and absorb nutrients from. So oftentimes bacteria are a secondary factor after invasion by fungi in the decomposition process. Very different way of feeding. Let's quit there.